Hi everyone, my name is Georgia and I work for Study in Sweden at the Swedish Institute. We've been doing a series of webinars over the last couple of weeks to talk about different topics relevant to international students who are considering applying to Sweden and coming here to study. Today we are going to be doing a webinar called Why Being Queer in Sweden is So Damn Normal. We have 3 wonderful international students who will be joining us to talk a little bit about their experiences and to tell us whether they think Sweden lives up to its gay-friendly reputation. So you who are watching are able to comment and write questions during the webinar, and hopefully we'll be able to get to all of them today. We won't be able to answer any questions about your eligibility for certain programs or whether you are able to get a scholarship. However, if you have any questions for our 3 students about their experiences and their advice, for example, then I encourage you to ask away. We put aside an hour for today, but I think we'll probably only talk for about 40 to 45 minutes. But I hope you find it very, very interesting and worthwhile watching. Okay, let's meet our students. Hi. Hi.
Hi.
And Claire as well. Hi. Okay, so let's start by introducing ourselves. Could you tell me your name, where you come from, what you're studying, and maybe how long you've been in Sweden for? Kang, would you like to start?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. My name is Kang. I'm from Vietnam. I'm studying in Marketing Communication Master Program, and now I live in Stockholm.
And how long have you been here for?
Oh, I've been here for nearly 3 months now.
Okay, great.
Kind of new.
Okay. And Sasha, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Sasha. Before Sweden, I lived in Russia, and I study European politics at the University of Gothenburg. So I live in Gothenburg, and I'm here since the end of August.
Okay, great. And Claire?
Hi, yeah, so I'm Claire. I'm from London. I study a master's in political communication at the University of Gothenburg, so I live in Gothenburg. And I've been here for over a year now.
Okay, great. So you've been here during COVID and the rest of that must have been interesting for you.
Yeah, that's the word.
Okay. So what made you consider studying in Sweden, Claire?
Well, I'd always wanted to live abroad and take every opportunity to do that. Also in the UK, it's very expensive to do a master's, around at least £10,000. And so that paired with wanting to live abroad, it was the perfect place.
Okay, great. And Sasha, what about you? What made you choose Sweden as a study destination?
Well, I always wanted to do a master's in English, and it seemed like Sweden is a perfect place for that. It's one of a few countries that offer a wide variety of master programs in English. Also, I was referred to Sweden by a friend who had studied at Lund University. And another reason is that Gothenburg University had a program in European politics, the European Studies program. So that seems like a perfect match. And I always say that, joke, that I was targeted by Sweden because one of the ads when I was looking for a master's program in Sweden showed a pride parade. And it said, do you want to study here? And I was like, yeah, it seems like we speak the same language.
Okay, when I was doing a little bit of research for this webinar, I read that Sweden actually has the most pride parades per capita, and the Stockholm Pride has on average about 45,000 people in attendance each year, which is the largest pride parade in all of the Nordic countries. So that's pretty fun. I hope you'll get to go there and and witness it in person. Kang, what about you? Why did you choose Sweden, and has Sweden lived up to your expectations so far?
Oh my gosh, it's like a very long story if I tell you guys why I chose Sweden. But I think it's like Sweden is like a perfect combination for me because I really want to study abroad since I was like a very little boy. And then I starting to study in like my bachelor's in Vietnam, and I really like focus on like marketing and communication, specifically in like sustainability. So Sweden is like perfect destination for that. Besides, I feel like the values that the life here of the life here is like match with me. So why not?
Yeah.
And I also got the scholarship, so it's gonna be like the dream comes true.
Oh, that's fantastic. We should also mention, Kang, that you're actually one of our Study in Sweden digital ambassadors. So you do takeovers on our Instagram account, and you show a little bit about your life on there. So if any students have any questions for you specifically today, they're also able to contact you when you have a takeover on our Instagram, and we'll be able to give the Instagram tag name and stuff at the end. Okay, so because we're going to be talking about what it's like to be queer in Sweden, I thought I would start by giving a little bit of information about the background and LGBTQ plus rights here in Sweden before we start talking. So Sweden is celebrated as being one of the most inclusive and progressive countries. It was recently named the most LGBTQ plus friendly country in the world, according to new research into gay rights in 150 countries. It's considered one of the safest countries for LGBTQ plus people to travel to, and there are a lot of supportive laws and policies in place for people here and high public and societal acceptance. So, Kang, before you came to Sweden, what do you think your expectations were when it comes to being an LGBTQ plus person?
I think that's like before coming to Sweden, I think that's all about sustainability in general, especially about gender equality. Is one of the key points that that make me consider Sweden, because I think that the society here is kind of inclusive, and especially is I call it like queer paradise in my term. So I think that's like my expectation before coming to Sweden. Um, is that like a queer paradise for me? But after living for after 3 months, and I still thinking that it's kind of matched my expectation somehow. So yeah.
Yep. Okay, that's great to know. And Claire, how would you answer that question?
I would say I thought Sweden was going to be progressive because I mean that's very much like what it exudes. And in terms of just more accepting than the UK, and yeah, I think it has been so far. Like I've had no worries with it.
Yeah. Okay. And Sasha, what about you?
I think it depends on where the person comes from. So in my case, I didn't had any particular expectations because it was just important for me to move to a gay-friendly society. And it feels like I'm very lucky to be one of the few people who is able to move to a country with such high quality rankings within different quality indexes.
Yeah.
And it totally matches the expectations that I didn't have.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was going to be my next question for you. Do you think that Sweden deserves this reputation it has as being one of the safest, most welcoming countries for LGBTQ plus students in your experience so far?
Yeah, I can say that my experience so far was only positive. I think the surprising thing was to see, for example, pride flags in libraries Every library has a pride flag. We also, in Gothenburg, we had a West Pride parade in September, I believe, or October. Can't remember already. Which was a big event. It wasn't just the Pride Parade, but it also was a week with various events in the City Library, in the City Museum, or concerts, music concerts and drag show in one of the days. And in terms of safety, I feel completely safe being in Sweden. And I believe that if somehow any obstacles or problems arise, Sweden is prepared to solve that. I have no issues with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how do you think things compare here, the attitudes and these policies and stuff that we're talking about? How does that compare to your home country, what you're used to there?
Being a gay person in Russia is not an easy thing. So I think the fact that LGBT people are recognized here is an important thing for me. And that is the major difference. It is recognized on various levels. So on the governmental level, that's very important.
Okay. And Kang, what about you? How would you answer that question and compare society here to society in Vietnam?
I think that like many people can like imagine have like come from Asian cultures. Being queer is something until now like kind of unacceptable in somehow. Dependent like even though now the society like is very modern, we getting many like modern knowledge and we're thinking more closer to the world. But somehow like in the most cases, being queer in specifically in Vietnam is still not like a normal thing. It's not still a normal thing. So it was really hard for me to sometimes struggle there. And I totally agree with all about that Shasha told us about everything. It's like I encountered the same, but I have a very fun story to tell you guys. Like when I first came here, the very first day, I thought like okay, it's very like normal for me to look up like this, and I dress the way I want. But when I went to the train, like I don't know, I didn't know anything about the train system here, so I got lost. And then all of a sudden, one man, he just took my back like luggage, and then took me to the train, and he told me like, come home with him. And I was like, what? Oh my god, it is Sweden? Sweden is is like that? Abusing or something? And I was like, no. And I was like, I'm trying to calm down. And after that, okay, I'm totally fine after that. But after that, I told my friends, and they say, you are a rare case because nobody ever encountered before here. Even they live here for years. So finally, the conclusion is that no, it's still match my
Okay.
matches my expectation. Not that bad.
Oh dear. Well, I'm glad to hear that everything was okay when you encountered that. Claire, if I could ask you a question. If we're talking about studying in Sweden and being on campus, do you think the University of Gothenburg or in general universities in Sweden are also gay friendly? And do you feel like that you're able to be yourself there?
Yeah, 100%. As Sasha said, like there is visibility of like pride flags, of like events specifically for the queer community. It's not like a subject that isn't brought up in terms of like the subject that you do. So I do political communication, and if we're talking about like electoral campaigns or something, it will be they would not shy away from saying, "Oh, this is this how it impacts the LGBTQ plus community." Like it's just a very ordinary thing, which is very nice.
Yeah, that's good. And have you had an easy time meeting other LGBTQ plus students on campus? Or I guess you have studied maybe digitally as well since you've been here. How has that been?
Yeah, it's mainly been so for the first basically year, it was just digitally, so a lot harder. So that I didn't really go to any specific like LGBTQ plus meetups because it was just a very natural thing of just people in my course were LGBTQ plus and that was it. Just very easy.
Okay. How would you answer that question, Sasha?
I think, I completely agree with Claire. I personally did a presentation for my course, and part of the presentation was an issue with connected to LGBTQ community, and everyone in my group, it was a group work, were very supportive of choosing this particular subject. It was relevant to the studies. Nobody had any questions with that, which was incredible for my personal experience.
That's good. And another question I have for you is, how would you describe the dating scene here? Is it easy for you to meet others? Maybe everything is kind of impacted by COVID now, that it's hard to go out and meet people in person, but even digitally, do you find it fairly active, or?
I would say that it's not COVID, it's the studies that affected my life.
Yeah, okay.
I joke with my friends that I currently date my research papers.
Okay, fair enough. What about you, Kang? How would you answer that question?
Oh my god, that question is so fun. I want I want to start with my with my classmates first, because like here, I think that it's because of the nature of my program. It's like marketing communication, and like we have a lot of like queer students in our class. So basically, I have a group of queer friends. Like naturally, I have it, and when I first my first final essay for the first course, I wrote about the portrayal of like LGBT people on advertising, and my teacher, like my professor, she fully supported it, and I so happy about this. And actually, the dating things, like I think it's like, I don't know how to say, but many of my friends here, queer friends here, they told me that like Sweden is kind of like the safest country for you to like freely meet someone, and without being like without scare of being like maybe kidnapping or like something like that, because like it's kind of like safe here.
Yeah.
And also I think like the culture of using dating apps here is kind of how to say decent. Yeah, I think that the way they use the app like tells a lot about the country.
Yep.
So yeah, that's been my experience so far.
Oh, that's good. So you feel safe here in Sweden so far?
Yeah.
And that's good.
After that occasion.
Yeah. Okay. And how would you describe the atmosphere on your campus and in the classroom? When I think about your peers, your teachers, the other students that you come into contact with, that do you feel welcome? Do you feel accepted, supported by them?
Oh, I'm proud to say that they love me.
Okay.
They love me a lot. They say that I'm the entertainer of the class, like entertainer of like the meetup, every meetup, and I think that's like it's a like, kind of like the humor. Humor is like the nature of like queer people. I think maybe most of us. So, but I feel so welcoming. I feel so accepted.
Okay.
Even when we have meetup, we have like gatherings, and we freely talk about every topic. without scare of being judged.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel so welcoming. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. And Claire, what about you? How would you describe the atmosphere with on your campus and in your classes? Do you feel like you can be yourself? Do you feel accepted and supported by your teachers and peers?
Yeah, I mean, similar to what the other two have said, it's just been a very natural thing. It seems, naturally, everyone's very accepting. Everyone is more than accepting. They are happy about it. They're enthusiastic about it. They like to see a diversity in terms of being queer or in terms of ethnic minorities or anything like that.
Yeah.
The university atmosphere is very open and very welcoming and accepting and celebratory of diversity in any situation.
That's good. What kind of spaces are there for LGBTQ plus students, either on campus or in the city of Gothenburg that you have that you've found?
I think maybe I'm the wrong person to talk to about this because it's all been online for a year, so I'm not really sure on campus. There probably is something, but I don't know.
Yeah, no, I understand. I think everything has been unfortunately impacted kind of negatively by COVID the last year, but
yeah, I'm not sure. In terms of
yeah, I think we're having a little bit of a connection issue here. What about you, Kang? What kind of spaces have you found in Stockholm?
Oh,
yeah,
I think that's
there are clubs in the city, and there are a lot.
Okay. Okay. Kang, you can continue.
Yeah, I heard some kind of ideas about clubs and kind of I think like that from Claire. And I think that in Stockholm there are lots of available kind of places like that. But I love hiking, so
Yeah.
I use social media platform to find a group of people who like they call it queer hiking or something.
Okay.
There, I went to a hike that they're all of them is queer or queer ollies, and it's really fun. So I think it's available everywhere in Stockholm. Yeah.
Okay, great. Sasha, can I ask you, in what ways do you think Sweden still needs to make progress towards being a LGBTQ plus friendly country?
It's very difficult for me to answer this question because I think it exceeds again my expectations, which I did.
Okay.
So it's very difficult to answer. Yeah,
I understand. That's good to hear. But we all know that nowhere is perfect. There's always more that can be done, and things can always be made better for everyone. So Claire, we can see if your connection is a little bit better. Have you been informed by your university about what you should do or the steps that you should take if you ever do encounter some kind of discrimination on campus or outside of the university? Well, I think we've got a bit of a maybe we can ask Kang instead. Are you able to answer?
Yes. I don't really specifically or particularly informed by the uni, but I can easily find the information about health center or mental health supporter everywhere maybe in the website or in the social media platforms. Yeah, we can easily reach out to them if we face discrimination, which is really rare. I don't think that we face discrimination here, to be honest.
Okay. Oh, that's good to hear. And do you have any ideas about how Sweden can continue to progress and be better?
I think that this is not a suggestion. I think it's like I wish. I can wish. Can I wish? Okay, I make a wish. Okay. I wish that the people here. I think that they can like be more like how to say show more about themselves. I think which is really hard to tell because it's about the personality, about the kind of like the nature of people here. But I think that if they can show more about themselves, we can see more colors, and by that way we can see like representations matter. You know what I mean? You can see other people. They can have like a shared feature with you. They have a shared personality with you. It somehow make you feel more inclusive. But I think that depends on many like perspectives, like culture, like the personality of people, everything. But I wish that I could see more colors when I walk on the street or like I'm hanging out or something. Yeah, but it's really fine. It's not a wish.
I understand. Claire, when it comes to making friends and getting to know your peers, do you think that because Swedish people have a bit of a reputation or stereotype for being difficult to get to know or kind of cold in person, do you think that that's true? Oh, I can't hear you. Sasha, what would you say? What would you say to that question?
I think it's no less true than it is for British.
Okay.
I think my experience is different from that stereotype because I don't know, in the first 2 weeks, a woman spoke to me on the tram. Another person made a compliment to my coat.
Okay.
And I'm like, I didn't expect that because I knew the stereotype and it was not what I was expecting. And also, we have quite a few Swedes on our course, and they are the sweetest people I have ever met. They are very interesting to talk to. They're quite curious about your personal experiences, etc.
Yeah. Okay. Are you learning Swedish here?
I began learning Swedish back in August, but once I arrived, I decided to concentrate on my studies. But I plan to do that the next half of the year.
How about you, Kang? Are you learning Swedish at all?
Oh yes, I procrastinated for like a month now. I mean, I really want to learn Swedish because like I want to know more about the culture as well as like I working in advertising field, so it's like that to know about the culture, the language, so that I can do better in my job. So I definitely learn Swedish.
And what is the makeup of your program when it comes to your peers? How many would you say are Swedish compared to international? And do you find it hard to get to know the Swedes?
I think that my program, like maybe one third of them are Swedish.
Okay.
And I find no difficulty getting to know them at all because I think it's like really easy to talk with them and to get to know them. But the thing is that you want to know to get a close relationship with them, or you get deeper like a connection with them. It takes more time, I think. But get to know them is not that kind of like tough to do.
Okay. So what kind of advice would you have to other LGBTQ plus students who are considering applying to Sweden?
Me? Sorry.
Yes, you.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, come here.
Okay, you recommend it?
Have some fun. I recommend it, but like, I think that you should be prepared to be open-minded here,
Mhm.
because I know that not many people they chose to be open-minded. So I think that here you should I don't know how to say, but I think the easiest way for you to blend in or to get to know and get how to say, like, socialize with other people,
Mhm.
I think you should be open-minded about this um how to say, this topic, or like this,
Mhm.
yeah, kind of, because I know many people, even the LGBTQ plus people, they even don't choose to be open-minded about themselves and about other people. So I
Mhm.
think, yeah.
Okay. What about you, Sasha? Do you recommend Sweden as a study destination, and do you have any advice to students who are maybe feeling a bit hesitant about coming here?
Yeah, absolutely. I recommend Sweden as a study destination. It's a great place to be. My advice to students is, first one is that they should probably do a research on the city that they are going to.
Mhm.
Because I applied to Swedish universities twice, and first year my choice was a smaller city than the Gothenburg.
Mhm.
And then when I realized that, for example, culture plays an important role for me, I realized that probably in Gothenburg there will be more culture.
Mhm.
And this is the case, and I'm very happy about that. And also, I think should be totally fine for LGBTQ plus student to live in a small city. But
Yeah.
once you are in a bigger city, you have more opportunities.
Yeah.
And Gothenburg is smaller than Stockholm, but it still has quite a few places to go to meet
Mm.
people. And it has the big museum or a big concert venue. You can go to, I don't know, I visited a Darin concert, which is one of the biggest Swedish pop stars who is openly gay,
Mhm.
just a month ago. It was amazing.
Okay. Yeah.
And another advice is that I think Sweden, especially if you come from I don't know, homophobic society, Sweden is a good place to be to do this inner work on coming out due
Mhm.
to the acceptance of the society, etc. I realized that maybe I should be more open in a way.
Mhm.
Because for me, talking about my sexuality is not something I'm used to.
Mhm.
Although I had done some inner work back in my home country, but still,
Mhm.
it's kind of an issue.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's actually a great point that you raised before, that experiences could differ and attitudes could differ when you live in a big city compared to a small Swedish town. I think if we do a future webinar on this topic, that's something that we should look into, actually, because it's a good point. Claire, we'll try you again, see if it's working better. How much longer are you planning on staying here, and what are your plans for after you graduate? Oh, I think we're still having a bit of trouble. Sorry, Claire. Kang, you can answer that question. How much longer are you going to be here in Sweden for, and what are your plans for the future?
I just no, I just being here. So I think that's why I want to finish my program, which is a 2-year program,
Mm-hmm.
and after that I want to live abroad for a while, maybe like 3 to 5 years, because like this is my first time living abroad, so I want to experience more.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe getting a job here in Europe,
Mm-hmm.
or going some other countries, but definitely
Mm-hmm.
living abroad. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're about to go into your first Swedish winter. I imagine that that's going to be very different from what you're used to in Vietnam.
It's already snowing recently, so
Yeah, and getting a lot
I'm so
darker,
excited.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Sasha, what are your future plans? How long do you think you'll be in Sweden for, and what do you want to do after?
Yeah, so I plan to be here at least for 2 years till the end of the program. And then it depends on the job opportunities, I think, that I have. As of this moment, I'm not sure whether I will be able to find a job within my field. So I'm open to moving and exploring other European states.
Yeah.
But we will see. Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
difficult to predict.
Yeah.
So I don't have any plans as of now.
Okay.
So if
But that's good. Means that anything can happen.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, I think we've covered most of the questions that I'd prepared for today. Unless you have anything else that you think I should or we should bring up and talk about, I would like to thank everyone who's been watching. And I would like to especially thank the two of you and Claire for attending today. It's been so wonderful to talk to you both, and I hope that everyone has got a lot out of it. For the people who are watching this live stream, the recording will be on our YouTube and our Facebook channels for, I'm not sure how long we'll keep them there, but they'll be there for a little while at least, and you can continue to ask questions, and my colleagues and I will try and answer as many as possible. Otherwise, I would like to direct you to our website to find more information, www.studyinsweden.se. We also have a blog that our digital ambassadors are helping us to produce content for. And you can follow us on Instagram, where you can watch Kang when he has his takeovers, and you can ask more questions there and learn more about student life in Sweden. Okay, well, I think that's everything for today. So thank you so much again, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye bye. See you.